there is change in language ideology, right? So before this time, there was the use of communicative approach, which focused on monolingualism. Monolingualism means using only English, not other languages, using only authentic text. Authentic text means those texts which were produced by native speakers of English. That is monolingualism. Now, this ideology has been changed. We are no longer under that ideology. We have crossed that ideology. So now we are under multiculturalism. We are under multilingualism, so that every language, every culture is equally valuable. So if there is text in that is related to any culture in any language, if that is in English, it can be equally suitable text. It can be authentic text, we say in this way. And similarly, instruction is learner centered rather than teacher centered nowadays, and we focus on process rather than product nowadays. And our teaching learning should always be contextualized. Then socio-cultural issues should be considered while actually using teaching learning activities. We have to focus on individual differences. Every individual is unique. They have got the capacity of learning in their own ways. That's why teachers should never dominate anybody else in the classroom, because they have got their own capacities. They have got their own way, styles of learning. And we have to focus on holistic, integrated, and collaborative learning rather than discrete learning. There should be no competition. Competition should be discouraged. Collaboration should be encouraged, right? Isolation should be discouraged. Integration should be encouraged. Part by part teaching should be discouraged. Holistic teaching should be encouraged. This is the essence of present curriculum, right? In the case of English language teaching, meaningful learning. If learning is meaningful, it can remain in our mind for a long time, so that we should not basically focus on drilling, role learning, or parallel learning. Whole to part orientation rather than part to whole. Functional rather than structural. Learning as a lifelong process, so that we should not prepare the learners only for the exam. We have to teach for knowledge, not for examination, not for testing, right? So we should not be guided by what type of questions are asked in the examination, what is given in the grid. I have to make the learners practice the same thing. We should not have that concept, and we have to only consider that learning is a process. Learners have to gain the knowledge, right? So only examination is only a formality. So we have to value learning as a lifelong process rather than only preparing learners for examination. And we are practicing critical pedagogy, post-method pedagogy, as we already discussed, and we are following technology enhanced language learning, then CLIL, intercultural community competence. So we discussed this matter here. And in conclusion, regarding the pedagogical application of the concept of the theories of the knowledge in actually English language teaching, or in implementing present curriculum, present textbook, we see in this way: English language pedagogy should be contextually relevant. Be careful, it should be contextually relevant. So there might not be the same context in all the situation. Context of Kailali, context of Darchula, context of Ilam, context of Pokhara, context of, let's say, Bara, Parsa, let's say, Butol, Jumla, Kalikot. So there is different context. That's why whatever pedagogy, whatever technique, whatever method, whatever activity we choose, it should be contextually relevant. That is one thing. So that the same method, same technique cannot be applicable in all the contexts in our country also. Our pedagogy should be socially responsive. Our pedagogy should be culturally sensitive. So this should be taken as the guiding principle while implementing the curriculum. So teachers should have TPSCK, technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge, that is TPSCK. We have to aim to develop intercultural community competence in the learners rather than only community competence, which was the belief of the previous courses only. And eclecticism, any method which is suitable should be selected. We have to focus on developing 6 C's, that is communication, criticality, collaboration. Collaboration, opposite term of collaboration is competition. Now no competition, but collaboration. Criticality, not taking something blindly, but we have to raise question, why this, why not that? We have to think beyond the box. Creativity, So creation should be focused. Then culture is everything is guided by culture, because we are in certain culture. All people are in culture there. That's why culture should be focused in teaching, and connection, because of technology, right? Because of ICT, we have got connection with various group of people. We are connected here in this way. Now, this should be reflected in the curriculum. Means the teacher should practice such matters. Remember, one size does not fit all. One size does not fit all, because of individual differences, because of geographical variation, because of, let's say, diversity. One size can never fit all. So this is the failure of communicative approach to language teaching, because communicative approach says that one size fits all. Now it is not true. One size can never fit all. Because of this concept, there has been the development of post method pedagogy. Means every method is dead. No method is perfect. No method is best. All right. Every method can be best if it is suitable, if it is contextually relevant, if it is socially responsive, if it is culturally sensitive, then right. So every English language teacher should have now this type of feeling, this type of concept, right? Now, let me focus on the present curriculum, right? यो अब हाम्रो यो वर्तमान जो करिकुलम छ अहिलेको यो 9 र 10 को, यो चाहिँ नेशनल करिकुलम फ्रेमवर्क 2076 मा जुन लागू भयो नेशनल करिकुलम फ्रेमवर्क चाहिँ हो, यसको मर्म अनुसारको छ। यसको मर्म अनुसार अनि चाहिँ ग्रेड 9 र 10 को पाठ्यक्रम, माध्यमिक तहको शिक्षाको पाठ्यक्रम 2078 सालमा यो चाहिँ निर्माण गरियो। 79 मा चाहिँ 9 मा लागू भयो। अब 80 मा अहिले चाहिँ 10 मा लागू हुँदै गइरहेछ हैन, हुन गइरहेछ। त्यसैले हामी चाहिँ यसकै लागि चाहिँ यहाँ इंग्लिशको पाठ्यक्रमको चाहिँ डिस्क्रिमिनेसन भनौं, ओरिएन्टेसन भनौं, नेपालीमा भन्यो भने प्रबोधीकरण भनौं, यसको जानकारीको लागि हामी सबैजना यहाँ चाहिँ उपस्थित भएका छौं, यसरी कनेक्सनमा आएका छौं। र यसरी हेर्दाखेरि हाम्रो के छ भने 2076 मा जब नेशनल करिकुलम फ्रेमवर्क लागू भयो, त्यसैको मर्ममा रहेर यो वर्तमान पाठ्यक्रम निर्माण गरिएको छ। त्यस अनुसार सबभन्दा पहिला कक्षा 1 मा यो नयाँ पाठ्यक्रम कक्षा 1 मा परीक्षणको रूपमा निश्चित जिल्लामा लागू गरिएको थियो। यसरी कर्मशः तर कक्षा 11 मा पूर्ण रूपमा लागू गरिएको थियो, कक्षा 1 मा परीक्षणको रूपमा लागू गरेको थियो। यसरी कर्मशः हुँदाखेरि 2080 मा आएर 5 मा 8 मा र 10 मा कार्यान्वयनमा गइरहेको छ यो चाहिँ हाम्रो नयाँ पाठ्यक्रम। अब यो 2080 देखि 1 देखि 12 सम्म पूर्ण रूपमा कार्यान्वयनमा जान्छ यो नयाँ पाठ्यक्रम है। यो पाइलटिङ भनेको चाहिँ यो चाहिँ के अरे परीक्षणको रूपमा भयो, अनि इम्प्लिमेन्टेसन भनेको चाहिँ कार्यान्वयनको रूपमा आयो चाहिँ अहिले। अब यो 9 र 10 को पाठ्यक्रमको कुरा गर्दाखेरि यो माध्यमिक शिक्षा पाठ्यक्रम जो 2078 को छ 9 र 10 को, यसमा भएका विषयहरू चाहिँ 7 वटा विषयहरू छन्। यहाँहरूले अब 9 क्लासमा त्यो पढाइसक्नु भएको छ, त्यसैले यो चाहिँ नयाँ कुरा भन्ने भएन हैन, उही कुरा यसमा आएको छ। यस अनुसार हाम्रो चाहिँ यो नेपाली, अंग्रेजी, गणित, विज्ञान तथा प्रविधि, सामाजिक अध्ययन, ऐच्छिक प्रथम, ऐच्छिक द्वितीय गरिकन यो चाहिँ यो 9 कै ठ्याक्कै स्टाइलमा 9 र 10 को एउटा स्टाइल छ। मैले पहिला पनि भनेको थिएँ, हिजो पनि भनेको थिएँ कि 1 2 3 को एउटा स्टाइल छ, 4 र 5 को एउटा स्टाइल छ, 6 7 8 को एउटा स्टाइल छ, 9 10 एउटा स्टाइल छ, अनि 11 12 एउटा स्टाइल छ। त्यसोले 9 र 10 को पाठ्यक्रम चाहिँ यो अनुसार गएको छ। पाठ्य घण्टा भयो चाहिँ क्रेडिट आवर, अनि वार्षिक कार्य घण्टा कति छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ यो यहाँहरूले 9 मा हेरिसक्नु भएको छ, त्यही कुरा यहाँ सुन्नु भएको छ। अब so what are the features of English curriculum of grade 9 and 10? Because it is in the combined form, that's why it has certain features here. Then what are the features actually? So you can see the features which I have written here on the slide regarding grade 9 and 10 English curriculum. It is based on National Curriculum Framework 2076 BS, and it addressed socio-political situation of the country, focusing, reflecting the current needs of the learners, and it is based on, actually it is contemporary issue based cross cultural reading text. अब यसमा के छ भने अहिलेको 9 10 को करिकुलम चाहिँ अंग्रेजीको कुरा गर्दाखेरि यो रिडिङ टेक्स्टहरु त्यहाँ छन् 18 वटा हैन कि 36 वटा रिडिङ टेक्स्टहरु छन्। तिनीहरु कस्ता छन्? दे आर क्रस कल्चरल, भनेको मतलब विभिन्न कल्चरका छन्। यो भन्दा पहिला त इंग्लिश कल्चर मात्रै भन्ने हुन्थ्यो। अमेरिकनले त्यो पाठ लेखेपछि त्यो मात्रै राम्रो, के रे यो बेलायतको मान्छेले लेखकले लेखेका पाठ मात्रै राम्रो हैन, इन्डियाको मान्छेले अंग्रेजीमा लेखेपछि त्यो राम्रो होइन भनिन्थ्यो, नेपालको मान्छेले अंग्रेजीमा लेखेपछि त्यो पाठ ठीक होइन भनिन्थ्यो। ऑथेन्टिक भन्ने कुरा थियो कि त्यहाँ त्यो कन्सेप्ट चिरियो अब त्यो कन्सेप्ट हरायो त्यो पुरानो भइसक्यो परम्परावादी भइसक्यो त्यो अब चाहिँ अहिले के भयो त एनी टेक्स्ट which is in English which reflects the culture of a certain country or certain language that can be the authentic text त्यही नै बेस्ट टेक्स्ट हो भन्ने कुरा यहाँ अहिलेको वर्तमान पाठ्यक्रममा छ अनि कन्टेम्पोरेरी इस्यु बेस्ड हाम्रो जो एउटा समसामयिक जो इस्युहरू जो छन् ती परिघटनाहरू त्योसँग सम्बन्धित टेक्स्टहरू छन् जस्तै ग्लोबलाइजेसन माइग्रेसन लोकलाइजेसन डाइभर्सिटी हेल्थ यस्ता यस्ता जो छ नि यो चाहिँ हिस्ट्री हैन यो यस्ता यस्ता जुन कुराहरू छ नि यस्ता कुराहरूलाई त्यो थीम बनाएर थीमेटिक अप्रोच प्रयोग गरिकन नयाँ पाठ्यक्रम निर्माण गरिएको छ अनि यसको मूल मर्म भनेको अप्रोच भनेको चाहिँ कन्टेन्ट एन्ड ल्याङ्ग्वेज इन्टिग्रेटेड लर्निङ अप्रोच इज द गाइडिङ प्रिन्सिपल अफ दिस न्यू करिकुलम यो नयाँ पाठ्यक्रमको गाइडिङ अप्रोच भनेको नै CLIL अप्रोच हो यो भनेको कम्युनिकेटिभ अप्रोच भन्दा पछि आएको अप्रोच हो यो चाहिँ अहिले वर्तमानमा जो विश्वमा चलिरहेको जो अप्रोच छ त्यो भनेको कन्टेन्ट एन्ड ल्याङ्ग्वेज इन्टिग्रेटेड लर्निङ अप्रोच हो यो चाहिँ लेटेस्ट अप्रोच प्रेजेन्ट रिसेन्ट अप्रोच है अनि यसको मूल मुख्य उद्देश्य भनेको चाहिँ लर्नरहरूमा इन्टरकल्चरल कम्युनिकेटिभ कम्पिटेन्स डेभलप गर्ने भने सबै कल्चर उत्तिकै भ्यालुएबल छ सबैका भाषा उत्तिकै भ्यालुएबल छ हो त्यो कुरालाई रिफ्लेक्ट गर्ने गरिकन लर्नरहरूमा सो एभ्रीबडीज कल्चरलाई रेस्पेक्ट हुने खालको व्यक्तित्वहरू विकास हुनुपर्छ भन्ने मर्म यसले राखेको छ अनि इट फोकसेस अन अ भेराइटी अफ लिटरेरी एन्ड नन लिटरेरी टेक्स्ट यहाँ लिटरेचरका टेक्स्ट मात्रै होइन अब कथा कविता मात्रै पढाएर हुँदैन कि नन लिटरेरी टेक्स्टहरू हैन त्यस्ता कुराहरू पनि पढाउनुपर्छ दुईटै कुराको यहाँ सम्मिश्रण छ अब चाहिँ अनि क्रिटिकल थिङ्किङ इट फोकसेस अन डेभलपिङ क्रिटिकल थिङ्किङ इन द लर्नर्स सो लर्नर्स शुड थिङ्क बियोन्ड द बक्स यो चाहिँ बियोन्ड द बक्स भने के हो भने यो चाहिँ यो अब जे आफूले देख्यो जे परम्परागत रूपमा आएको छ त्यति मात्रै के हो त्योभन्दा अरू त केही पनि छैन भन्ने कुरा हामीले सोच्नु हुँदैन त्योभन्दा बाहिर पनि संसार छ भनेर चाहिँ अलिक फरक तरिकाले फरक धारले सोच्ने खालको हुनु पर्यो भन्ने कुरालाई भनिन्छ क्रिटिकल थिङ्किङ हुनु पर्यो अनि क्रिएटिभिटी यो हाम्रो अहिले वर्तमान पाठ्यक्रमको योभन्दा पहिलाको एकदम समस्या भनेको चाहिँ क्रिएटिभिटी नै भएन के सृजनशीलता नै भएन हरेक कुरा प्यारो लर्निङ भयो स्पुन फिटिङ खालको टिचिङ भयो हामीले बालबालिकाहरूलाई चाहिँ माछा कसरी मारेर खाने भनेर सिकाएनौँ कि माछा मारेर दिउँ ल खाऊ बाबु खाऊ नानीहरू भन्यौँ त्यस्तो खालको चाहिँ हामीले शिक्षा दियौँ कि त्यहाँ त सृजनशीलता भएन त्यसको क्रिटिकल थिङ्किङ नै भएन हामीले चाहिँ यो परीक्षामा आउँछ भन्यो त्यही घोक भन्यो त्यस्तैमा पढायौँ त्यो क्रिटिकल थिङ्किङ नै भएन के त्यो हो त्यस्तो खालको कुराहरूले गर्दा सो दिस करिकुलम ट्राइज टु एड्रेस दिस इस्युज which were the drawbacks of the previous curriculum and as I told you that it is based on thematic approach अब पाठहरू टेक्स्टहरू मिलाउने दुईटा तरिका हुन सक्छन् थीमको आधारमा लिटरेरी जानरको आधारमा कथा कथा एक ठाउँमा कविता कविता एक ठाउँमा राख्यो भने त्यो एउटा अप्रोच भयो र आशय मिल्ने पाठ एक कथा होस् कविता होस् उपन्यास के रे त्यो मतलब एसे होस् अथवा चाहिँ मानौ त्यो ड्रामा होस् त्यसको आशय मिल्छ भने त्यसलाई एक ठाउँमा ल्याउनु भनेको थीमेटिक अप्रोच भयो हो यो वर्तमान पाठ्यक्रम चाहिँ it is based on thematic approach and it does not focus on monolingualism it focuses on multilingualism बहुल भाषावाद है अनि diversity is taken as a resource in this curriculum and globalization global should be adopted in the local context local matters should be taken to the global context that is globalization right and developing intercultural understanding and knowledge अनि पेडागोजी कस्तो हुनु पर्यो मैले पहिला बुझिसकेका चाहिँ कल्चर कन्टेक्स्चुअली एप्रोप्रिएट सोसियली रेस्पोन्सिभ कल्चरली सेन्सिटिभ खालको जे पेडागोजी हामी प्रयोग गर्छौँ यो कुरा प्रतिबिम्बित हुने खालको हुनु पर्यो अनि अब हामीले इभ्यालुएसन गर्ने बेलामा मूल्याङ्कन गर्ने बेलामा वी हेभ टु फ्लो ब्लुम्स कग्निटिभ डोमेन अफ 6 लेभल्स अफ नलेज त्यो ब्लुमले बेन्जामिन एस ब्लुमले 6 वटा लेभल जो दिएको छ नि पहिलेको परिमार्जितमा रिमेम्बरिङ सबभन्दा तल्लो तह भयो अन्डरस्ट्यान्डिङ त्योभन्दा एक स्टेप माथि भयो अप्लाइङ थर्ड स्टेपमा गयो एनालाइजिङ फोर्थमा गयो इभ्यालुएटिङ पाँचौँमा गयो छैटौँमा क्रिएसन योभन्दा पहिला र यसमा के फरक छ भने पहिला क्रिएसन चाहिँ पाँचौँमा थियो इभ्यालुएसन छैटौँमा थियो त्यो तलमाथि पारेको छ अरू सबै कन्सेप्ट चाहिँ उयो हो अब हामीले whenever we assist the learners whenever we evaluate the learners right so actually the questions should be designed questions should be test items should be designed in such a way that there can be the reflection of all these 6 domains of knowledge as prescribed by Benjamin S. Bloom So this is the feature. These are the features of grade 9 and 10 English curriculum. Benjamin S. Bloom has given the actually knowledge system, development of knowledge system in this way, cognition in this way, remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating. So you might be familiar with this concept. अब यो कोर्समा ग्रेड 9 सरी 10 को इङ्ग्लिसमा के कुरा कभर भएको छ त, के कुरा समेटेको छ त भन्ने कुरा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ सो रिडिङ, राइटिङ, लिसनिङ, स्पिकिङ, ल्याङ्ग्वेज फङ्सन्स, ग्रामर, pronunciation and vocabulary all are integratively given there. All are focused in this present curriculum of grade 10 English. And here we should know that language functions are reflected in speaking and actually listening. But there are reading texts, 36 reading texts, which are thematic one. Writing tasks are there, and grammatical questions are also given. Pronunciation is also focused, and development of vocabulary is also focused. These are the focusing matters of grade 10 English curriculum. You can see the importance of actually vocabulary in this quotation given by Wilkins in 1972. शब्दको अर्थ, शब्दको भण्डार निर्माण गर्नुपर्छ, किन गर्नुपर्छ त्यसको महत्त्व बुझाउने गरिकन एउटा यहाँ चाहिँ के छ भने एउटा कोटेसन छ, यहाँ मैले पढेँ, यो चाहिँ यहाँबाट पढ्ने अनुमति मागे. विदाउट ग्रामर very little can be conveyed. Without vocabulary nothing can be conveyed. यो विल्किनले दिएको कोटेसन हो है. यो कति सान्दर्भिक छ, यसले के जनाउँछ भने it shows the importance of learning vocabulary, developing vocabulary power in the learner. त्यसले लर्नरमा vocabulary power भएन भने न रिडिङ गर्न सक्छ, न राइटिङ गर्न सक्छ, न लिसनिङ गर्न सक्छ, न स्पिकिङ गर्न सक्छ, केही गर्न सक्दैन. द्याट्स वाइ vocabulary power should be developed. यो डेभलप गर्नको लागि 36 वटा जो रिडिङ टेक्स्टहरु छ हाम्रो ग्रेड 10 को किताबमा, त्यसमा भएका डिफिकल्ट वर्डले सो vocabulary power डेभलप गर्नमा त्यसले मद्दत पुग्ने छ. त्यसो भएकोले we have to encourage the learners to actually develop much more vocabulary power in them so that they can use English language appropriately in terms of listening, speaking, reading and writing. These are focused in the present curriculum. Now if I have to talk about the competencies to be achieved after the completion of grade 9 and 10 English curriculum, we can see this one. You might have seen in the curriculum as well, so that I will not go through them because they are clearly given in the curriculum. There are 9 competencies that are to be developed in the learners after the completion of grade 9 and 10 English curriculum. They are given in the combined way. Similarly, in the case of grade 10 English only, there are certain learning outcomes for listening, speaking, reading and writing. So 6 learning outcomes are provided, means given there. Just let me read 1 and 2. Understand the intended meaning of the text and respond accordingly. Follow standard and clearly articulated talks, announcements and speeches. And last one, understand and follow multi-step instructions and detailed directions. So learners should be able to do so regarding the development of listening skill after the completion of grade 10 only. Similarly, there are some learning outcomes under the speaking skill. 12 learning outcomes are provided there. The first one says, express and respond to feelings such as surprise, happiness, sadness, interest, and indifferences. That is one learning outcome under speaking. And last one, the second last one, narrate stories, events, and experiences in the spoken form. Learners should be able to develop such types of the speaking abilities, right? So that these are the learning outcomes under speaking. So that should be developed by the learners, right? In the case of this one. And under reading, again, there are 10 learning outcomes that should be developed by the learners. Like the first one, understand text that consists of high frequency everyday language. The last one, read literary text for pleasure and understanding, right? So they should be able to select any literary text like poem, story, essay, or drama, novel like that, and they should read for pleasure and they should also understand. So these skills should be developed regarding reading at the end of grade 10 English curriculum. And under writing, such types of skills should develop: describe experiences, feelings, and events, write stories, letters, emails, notes, notices, advertisements, recipe, and instructions. They should be able to write such things and write accounts of experiences, describing feelings, reactions in simple connected text, right? So they should be able to develop such kinds of the matters. Similarly, write short, descriptive, narrative, expositive, and persuasive essays. I mean, they should be able to write any kind of the essay under this level. After the completion of this one, they should be able to write such essays, interpret charts, tables, and diagrams, write short biographies, writing about oneself. So others. Autobiography means writing about oneself. Biography means writing about others. Write short news articles and news stories. Write short reviews of books and films. Paraphrase short written text, like a poem should be paraphrased into, let's say, prose in this way. And write formal message of condolence, sympathy, and congratulation. So these are the writing learning outcomes under writing skill that should be developed at the end of grade 10 English curriculum. Now, what are the language functions which are given here? 18 language functions are given, right? So what are those 18 language functions here? Reporting statements. So learners should be able to report statements. They should be able to report questions. They should be able to report commands. And under the same, under grammar, reported speech is given for a statement, for question, for imperative sentences, right? That's why grammar and actually language function can be interrelated from this angle, in this sense, giving, withholding, and actually reporting permission, expressing condition. So we have conditional sentences. By using conditional sentences, they should be able to express condition. If you don't come, I won't go, like this one, stating condition. If it rains, the crops will be good, like that. Asking for and giving reasons. Criticizing, expressing likes, dislikes, preferences, narrating past events. Under grammar, there is the use of past tense, and past tense can be used in narrating past events in spoken form. Talking about past actions and with present significance, like this one, congratulating, comparing and contrasting, asking for and giving opinions. So these are the 18 language functions that should be developed in the learners, right, after the completion of this grade 10 English curriculum. Now, grammar. So which grammatical portion is given here? If we talk about this one, again, 18 grammatical portion, we find 18 grammatical portion here. Reported speech only for a statement, reported speech only for question, reported speech only for imperatives. They are given under language function 1, 2, and 3, right? Grammar and language function, they are interrelated matters. The use of the modal verb, especially may, can, could, will, and would only. Imperative sentences are making negative and positive. Conditional sentences, if clauses, there are 4 types of conditional sentences: 0 conditional, 1 conditional, 2nd, and 3rd. All should be known. Present continuous tense, connectives, reason and purpose only. Modal verb should, ought to, and must again. Articles, all in the now. Present simple and passive, being and having. Past simple, past continuous, all past tenses. Present perfect and present perfect continuous. Then voice, all voices. And 18 altogether. Negation, subject verb agreement, simple, all future tenses. Connective again. Although, however, in spite of, and despite, question tag. Relative clauses. Yeah, be clear about relative clause. मैले एउटा अलिक कुरा क्लियर के गर्न चाहे भने रिलेटिभ क्लाउजलाई इन्ट्रोड्युस गर्नको लागि चाहिँ त्यहाँ वी मेक युज अफ रिलेटिभ ओड. 3 खालका रिलेटिभ ओडहरु प्रयोग गर्न हामी सक्छौं. एउटा रिलेटिभ प्रोनाउन, अर्को रिलेटिभ एडभर्ब, अर्को रिलेटिभ डिटर्मिनर. तर हामीले के बुझ्नु हुँदैन भने परम्परागत ग्रामर बुकहरुमा रिलेटिभ प्रोनाउन प्रयोग गरिकन रिलेटिभ क्लाउज बनाउने भन्ने कुरा किताबमा लेखेको छ, सही हो भनेर हामीले ठान्नु भएन. गुगलमा त्यही दिएको छ, त्यही सही हो भनेर ठान्नु भएन. मेरो सरले त्यही पढाउनु भएको त्यही सही हो भनेर हामीले ठान्नु भएन। कन्सेप्टलाई चेन्ज हुन सक्छ। त्यसो बेला हामी के बुझ्नु पर्यो, हु, होम, विच छ भने त्यो रिलेटिभ प्रोनाउन भयो, त्यसबाट हुन सक्छ। अनि व्हेन, वेयर, हाउले जोडेको छ भने त्यो रिलेटिभ प्रोनाउन भयो, सरी रिलेटिभ एडभर्ब भयो। अनि के अरे हुज छ भने, अनि हुज बुक त्यस्तो त्यस्तो छ भने त्यो भनेको रिलेटिभ चाहिँ के अरे डेटर्मिनर भयो। त्यसो भएकोले relative clauses are introduced with the help of relative pronoun or relative adverb or relative determiner. अब हामीले त्यो रिलेटिभ प्रोनाउन भन्ने मात्रै लेखा हुन्छ है बुकहरुमा, त्यो कुरा ध्यान दिनु होला यहाँ, हैन? अनि त्यही कुरा ब्लाइन्डली हामीले फलो गर्नु भयो भने त हामीले क्रिटिकलिटी नै भएन, हामीले थिंकिङ बियोन्ड द बक्स गरेको कुरै भएन त्यहाँ। सो वी हैव टु थिंक बियोन्ड द बक्स भनेको छ हामीले है। हो त्यो कुरा एउटा अलिकता हामीले चाहिँ अपडेट हुनुपर्ने कुराहरु छ त्यहाँनेर। जस्तै अब हामीले चाहिँ अब सब्जेक्ट भर्ब अब्जेक्ट कुरा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अब राम गोज टु स्कुल, राम सब्जेक्ट भयो, गोज भर्ब भयो, टु स्कुल भने अब्जेक्ट भयो भन्ने खालको जो परम्परावाद जो सोच के हाम्रो कन्सेप्ट छ, इट हैज टु बी रिफाइन्ड। अब यो हामी रिफाइन गर्नु पर्यो, किनभने राम सब्जेक्ट भयो, गोज भर्ब भयो, ठिक छ, टु स्कुल भने त अब्जेक्ट भएन त। अब्जेक्ट हुनुको लागि त्यो त प्यासिभ हुनु पर्यो, इन्ट्रान्जिटिभ भर्ब छ, त्यो त हाम्रो के भयो त एडभर्बियल भयो। यस्ता कुरा हामीले ध्यान दिनु पर्यो। राम इज अ टिचर भन्यो भने राम सब्जेक्ट भयो, इज भर्ब भयो, अ टिचर अब्जेक्ट भनेर भन्न पाइएन त त्यहाँ, किनभने इज भनेको लिङ्किङ भर्ब हो। त्यसैले राम सब्जेक्ट भयो, इज चाहिँ भर्ब भयो, अ टिचर भनेको कम्प्लिमेन्ट भयो, लिङ्किङ भर्ब छ त्यहाँ, कोबुला भर्ब छ, इट इज नेभर प्यासिभाइज्ड, हैन? दिस टिन कन्टेन्स सुगर, दिस टिन कन्टेन्स टोबाको छ भने सब्जेक्ट भर्ब कम्प्लिमेन्ट भयो, इट क्यान नट बी चेन्ज इन्टु प्यासिभ, किनभने देयर इज नो ट्रान्जिटिभ भर्ब, देयर इज नो अब्जेक्ट। यस्ता कुराहरु अलिकति हामीले अपडेट हुनुपर्ने त्यो प्यासिभ भोइस बनाउँदाखेरि पनि। अनि एट प्रिपोजिसन्स, अल adjectives and adverbs, especially this one, and question causative. So these are the grammatical parts, sections which are given in the curriculum, and they are reflected in the textbook as well of a theme. Now, this curriculum is thematic. Thematic approach is followed, not the generic one. त्यो लिटरेरी जानरलाई प्रयोग गरेर त्यस्तो पोएम पोएम एक ठाउँमा राख्ने स्टाइलमा गएको छैन। यो चाहिँ थीमेटिक अप्रोचमा गएकोले गर्दा थीमेटिक अप्रोचमा कथा कविता जे भए पनि त्यसको थीम आशय एउटै छ भने त्यसलाई एक ठाउँमा ल्याइन्छ। दैट्स व्हाई 18 themes are given. फर्स्ट थीम इज करेन्ट अफेयर्स एन्ड इस्युज। जस्तै हाम्रा ज्वलन्त जो विभिन्न चाहिँ परिघटनाहरू छन्, विभिन्न जो मुद्दा त्यतिखेर इस्यु समस्याहरू छन् त्यहाँ, योसँग सम्बन्धित दुईटा पाठहरू पहिलो हेडिङ के अरे युनिटमा छन्। फेस्टिभल्स एन्ड सेलिब्रेसन जनाउने दुईटा पाठ सेकेन्ड युनिटमा छन्। हेल्थ एन्ड वेलनेस जनाउने चाहिँ दुईटा पाठहरू चाहिँ हाम्रो रिडिङ टेक्स्टहरू थर्ड युनिटमा छन्। त्यसै गरी लास्टमा सो मिडिया एन्ड इन्टरटेनमेन्ट, देयर आर टू रिडिङ टेक्स्ट अन्डर युनिट 18 reflecting media and entertainment. In this way, every unit contains two reading texts, so that altogether there are 36 reading texts, because there are 18 units, 18 language functions are there, 18 grammatical items are there, which are given serially, respectively in each of the 18 units. Then there are two reading texts. This is how the present curriculum of grade 10 English is actually organized, right? So the curriculum is in this way, and the same thing is reflected in the course book, in the textbook. अब यसमा के अलिकता छ भने ग्रेड 1 2 3 को थीममा गएको छ, ग्रेड 9 र 10 को पनि थीममा गएको छ, ग्रेड 11 12 को पनि थीममा गएको छ, तर अलि प्रष्ट तरिकाले गएको छैन, र ग्रेड 4 देखि 5 6 7 8 प्रष्ट तरिकाले थीम नदिकन यस्तो यस्तो पाठ राख्ने भनेर चाहिँ अलिकति त्यहाँ ग्याप भएको छ त्यो है, यो चाहिँ। अनि सो which principles of learning should be followed while implementing this curriculum. So if we talk about this one, you can see that like in other classes, so there should be fun. Learning should always be fun and engagement. Fun and engagement, right? Because if the learners are not engaged in the teaching learning activities, they can be the passive learners, means they may not learn effectively. That's why this should be actually, learners should be engaged in various kinds of the tasks, and so fun should be created with help of the rhyme, song, games, by the teachers, puzzles by the teachers in the classroom. Communicative activities should be emphasized, means the learners should be encouraged to communicate in role plays, pair work, group work, simulation, interaction, question answer, like that. Exposure should be provided in the spoken form, in the written form, in the, let's say, reading text form. And language skills integration means there, when we teach reading skill, we are also teaching writing, because writing exercise can be there after reading also. Personalization means if everything is personalized, if learners are encouraged to share their opinions, feelings, right, experiences related to the subject matter, then this learning becomes effective and meaningful. We have to focus on this one. Content and language integrated learning. This is the guiding principle of this present curriculum. Diversity should be taken as a resource rather than a problem. Learning through information and communication technology and learner autonomy. Learners should be encouraged to learn in their own, because they might have their own styles of learning. There are individual differences. That's why teachers should encourage self-correction, peer correction, and self-learning in the classroom context. There are different methods, techniques, and activities that can be used by the teacher in their local context. So these are some possible methods, possible techniques, possible activities only. Or without using any one which are given here, teachers can use some other methods, other techniques, other activities, because every teacher is an expert. All of you are expert here, right? So that I have huge respect on you, because you know your context, I don't know your context. So if I have to go to Sindhu Palchok, I can't teach effectively because I am not familiar with the context. I am not familiar with the student's background. That's why I may not fit there. But those who are teaching in Sindhu Palchok are the best teachers. They are the expert in their local context, because learning is always contextual, teaching is always contextual, right? So that all the teachers who are teaching in different places, who are present here, are the expert in their own areas, in their own field, in their own places, right? Anyway, these are some possible activities. These are some possible techniques that can be used by the teachers, like question answer, demonstration, games, use of pictures and flashcards, pair work and group work, drills, storytelling, narrating, dictionary work. So in this way, reading, presentation, project work, think and a pair, like this one, paraphrasing, summarizing, interpreting, visual-based activities, stories, right? So these are some activities, these are some techniques, these are some methods which are prescribed by the present curriculum of grade 10 English, right? Which might be used by the teachers, or teachers might use some others without using any one of these techniques, these activities also, right? Now we are nearly at the end of the session. Assessment. How are learners assessed? How are they evaluated? So both formative and summative evaluation assessment should be used while implementing this curriculum. So certain techniques, certain activities can be used by the teacher under formative assessment, like these are some possible formative assessment techniques: observation of students' linguistic behavior, anecdotal record, work sample or written samples, interviews, home assignment, portfolio test like class test, weekly test, monthly test, project work, creative works like group discussion, and journal writing. So teachers can encourage the learners to write journals, to write diaries, so that every day they can develop the habit of writing also, right? So this can be the best way of developing writing in the learners. They can remember vocabulary, they can concentrate their mind, they can think critically, right? They can, let's say, reflect themselves, they can organize the structures, and they can develop writing. That's why integratively, many things can be developed if learners are involved in journal writing. That can be one of the ways. Anyway, formative assessment can be done in any one or in different ways, like this one. So the main purpose of formative assessment is to provide feedback if there is any weakness in the part of the learners, so that they get chance of improvement, right? So there might be some improvement, because of which formative assessment should be carried out by the teachers. So they have to improve themselves. And then next type of assessment is summative assessment. In the case of summative assessment, learners do not get chance of improving their weaknesses because there is no feedback, there is a final judgment. But it can be either internal or external. There is 25% internal assessment, 75% external assessment. In the case of internal assessment, 3 marks participation, attendance and participation in activities, 3 marks. Listening test, 8 marks. Speaking test, 8 marks. Score from terminal examination, there are 2 terminal examinations, first term, second term, 3 marks from these 2 examinations, right? 6 marks. Then total 25 marks. So this is the internal assessment, and there is final examination taken by the external bodies. In the case of grade 10, that is of 75 marks, but 3 hours. Reading 40 marks, writing 24 marks, grammar 11 marks, and altogether 75 marks. But there are also the items related to testing.
Recording in progress.
टेक्स्ट बुक अल्सो त्यो जहाँबाट पनि ल्याउन सकिन्छ, 2टा लिसनिङ टेक्स्ट ल्याउने, कुनै एउटा स्पिच, कुनै डायलग हैन, कुनै स्पिच दिएको, कुनै एउटा चाहिँ मानु रेडियो टेलिभिजनको कुराहरू ल्याउन सकिन्छ हैन। सो र हरेकमा चाहिँ 4 क्वेशन पर्ने गरी 2टा लिसनिङ टेक्स्टहरू सुनाउने भनेको, इट क्यान बी लेक्चर, इट क्यान बी टक्स, इट क्यान बी प्रेजेन्टेसन, इट क्यान बी रेडियो टिभी ब्रोडकास्ट और एनी वान अफ दिस वान। अनि त्यो फाइल सुनाएर अनि 3 मिनेट जति लामो हुनुपर्ने र त्यसमा मल्टिपल चोइस, म्याचिङ आइटम, फिल इन द ब्ल्याङ्क, सर्ट एन्सर क्वेसन जस्ता क्वेसन हुनुपर्ने 20 मिनेट लगाएर लिसनिङ टेस्ट लिने एउटा विद्यार्थीलाई भन्ने छ है, यसको मर्म चाहिँ। अनि अर्को स्पिकिङ टेस्ट लिने भन्ने कुरा छ, त्यो 8 मार्क्सको चाहिँ। सो यसमा के छ त क्याटेगोरी हाम्रो, इन्ट्रोडक्सन एन्ड इन्टरभ्यू विथ द इन्डिभिजुअल स्टुडेन्ट्स 2 मार्क्स हैन। जस्तै अब त्यो कोही विद्यार्थीलाई इन्डिभिजुअली चाहिँ मानौ कम्ती 3टा क्वेसन सोध्नु पर्यो। जस्तै अब हाउ आर यु प्रिपेयरिङ फर द एक्जाम, व्हाट विल यु स्टडी आफ्टर ग्रेड 10, व्हाट्स योर एम इन लाइफ, डु यु लाइक इंग्लिश, व्हाई और व्हाई नट हैन। यस्तै व्हाट डज योर फादर डु, यस्तै विभिन्न खालका कुराहरू चाहिँ सोध्न सक्छ कि उसले इन्टरभ्यूमा। सो इट क्यारिज 2 मार्क्स। अनि यस्तो बेलामा टिचर हैज टु जज हाउ दे आर स्पिकिङ, राइट। अनि डिस्क्राइबिङ पिक्चर 3 मार्क्स को चाहिँ। सो teacher can provide a picture or set of pictures, and students are asked to describe the picture in at least 6 sentences. It carries 3 marks. And अर्को भनेको teacher should assign a given topic and students should be asked to say something on the topic. Topic can be my school, my hobby, my family, or any other topic might be there. So they will get 1 minute to think over the topic, and after that they will talk, they will speak individually, right? सो यसरी अनि एउटा विद्यार्थीलाई 10 देखि 15 मिनेट लगाएर अनि स्पिकिङ टेस्ट गर्ने भन्ने कुरा छ। यो भनेको स्पिकिङ टेस्ट गर्ने इन्टरनल एसेसमेन्टमा 8 मार्क्सको लागि चाहिँ। अनि अर्को नेक्स्ट इज स्कोर फ्रम द टर्मिनल एक्जामिनेसन, 3 मार्क्स फ्रम इच टर्म, राइट। सेकेन्ड टर्म, फर्स्ट टर्मबाट 3 मार्क्स, सेकेन्ड टर्मबाट 3 मार्क्स गरिकन 6 मार्क्समा उसले कति पायो त्यो 20 marks को लिए पनि त्यसलाई 3 marks मा कन्भर्ट गरेर अनि so there should be 25 marks internal assessment. And finally there is external assessment. यो ग्रेड 10 मा त एक्सटर्नल बडीबाट यो अब एसी भएको हुनाले गर्दा अन्त एसी को अब कामै छैन 12 सम्म माध्यमिक त भनेर आइसकेपछि 12 मा मात्रै फाइनल जाँच हुनुपर्ने हो। तर हाम्रो नेपालको सरकारले अहिलेसम्म त्यही गरिरहेछ हैन, एसी 10 मा दिइरहेछ। अब यो वास्तवमा एक्सटर्नल बडी इट इज टेकन बाइ एक्सटर्नल बडीज, इट हैज 3 hours 75 मार्क्स भए पनि 3 घण्टा यसको समय हुन्छ। अनि यसमा के छ, रिडिङ 40 मार्क्स, 2 रिडिङ प्यासेजेस शुड बी फ्रम द बुक, right? One of 5 marks, another of 10 marks. Only 2 reading passages out of the book, right? So 10, one passage 10 marks, another passage 15 marks. So the length for 10 marks should be 200 words, not more than 200 words. Length for 15 marks passage should be not more than 400 words. यस्तो खालको, तर the type of text which you use in one should not be repeated in another one. एउटा खालको टेक्स्ट एउटामा छाने भने अर्कोमा त्यही त्यस्तै खालको टेक्स्ट पर्नु भएन। देयर शुड बी भेराइटी, राइट, इन द टेक्स्ट। अब यी टेक्स्ट पनि स्टोरी हुन सक्छ, एडभर्टाइजमेन्ट, प्रोडक्ट गाइड, लेटर, न्यूज स्टोरी, कुनै पनि त्यस्तो खालको हुन सक्छ। र क्वेशन शुड बी ट्रू फल्स, फिल इन द ग्याप्स, म्याचिङ आइटम, अर्डरिङ, मल्टिपल चोइस, राइट, सर्ट एन्सर क्वेशन। र यिनीहरू मध्ये रिडिङ नम्बर 4 को प्यासेजमा देयर शुड बी, राइट, one type of test for testing vocabulary. अब 4 नम्बरको चाहिँ 15 नम्बरको भयो, 5 मार्क्स क्वेशन हुँदाखेरि एउटा चाहिँ एउटा 5 नम्बरको भनेको भोकाबुलरी मात्रै टेस्ट गर्ने खालको हुनु पर्यो। एकातिर वर्ड दिएर अर्कोतिर मिनिङ दिएर म्याचिङ गर्ने हुन सक्छ, अथवा चाहिँ सो मिनिङ दिएर सो फाइन्डिङ आउट वर्ड फ्रम द रिडिङ टेक्स्ट हुन सक्छ। इन दिस वे देयर शुड बी द टेस्टिङ अफ भोकाबुलरी एज वेल फर 5 मार्क्स। अनि व्हेन वी आस्क कम्प्रिहेन्सन क्वेशन दे शुड कभर लिटरल कम्प्रिहेन्सन, एकदम सिम्पल खालको कम्प्रिहेन्सन मात्रै गर्ने, वर्डहरु त्यो हैन, मतलब त्यो प्यासेजलाई बुझ्ने खालको। अनि रिअर्गनाइजेसन, रिअर्डरिङ हुन सक्छ। अनि इन्फरेन्स, क्लुको आधारमा, साइनको आधारमा, संकेतको आधारमा गेसिङ गर्ने कुराहरु त्यस्तो। अनि इभ्यालुएसन। सो ऑल दिस थिंग्स शुड बी रिफ्लेक्टेड इन द टेस्ट आइटम्स that we design. And then writing 35 marks, there are actually 4 types of writing tasks. Right, guided writing 1 about paragraph, description of table, charts, diagrams, or set of instruction, recipe, menu, or set of rules and regulation, advertisement, and notice, 5 marks. Any one of these one. And length of the guided writing should be about 100 words. अब यदि हामीले यति शब्दमा भनेनौ भने कति लेखेपछि नम्बर दिने भन्ने कुरा अन्यल हुन्छ। 500 शब्द लेखेआलाई भने कति दिने, 100 लेखे कति दिने, त्यो कुरामा एकरूपता ल्याउनको लागि चाहिँ we have to indicate the word limit, right? So in about 100 words भनेर भन्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। Guided writing second, news story, skeleton story, message of condolence, message of congratulation, invitation letter, thank you letter, or biography, 5 marks. Length again in about 100 words. Free writing 1, it can be a paragraph presenting a view, opinion, experience, feeling, leave application, job application, or dialogue. Actually paragraph writing on a certain topic, 6 marks. Length is about 150 words. And free writing second, personal letter, short essay, diary, newspaper article, book or film review, brochure, leaflet, 8 marks. Length is also in about 200 words. In this way, writing task should be provided here. Then we also have grammar. Grammar is only of 11 marks. Such topics are to be covered under grammar. Article, preposition, tense, connective, question tag, reported speech, voice, conditional sentences, subject verb agreement, interrogation and negation, and causative verbs, right? So 2 types of questions are to be designed by the test makers. 1, reproduction. 5 items should be there. Each one carrying 1 mark from tense, question tag, reported speech, voice, and interrogation negation. Next should be multiple choice in the contextual passage, in the passage form, but choice. It is about articles, preposition, connective, conditional sentences, subject verb agreement, and causative verb. Then 6 should be there, and 1 carries 1 mark, 6 marks. In this way, there is the provision of actually 11 marks grammar. So this is how actually the present curriculum, English curriculum grade 10 has been designed, right? So this is what I have to say. This is what I have to deliver regarding the curriculum of grade 10 English. Now I completed my presentation, and dear sir and ma'am, wherever you are, if you have anything to ask, if you have anything to share, you can share. We have now the floor is open. The organizers, the announcer will call your names one by one, right? Then I will try to answer your questions as far as possible. Anyway, I am also the learner, so I might learn many things from you, so that I am here for learning and sharing, right? So thank you, sir.
Okay. धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद आदरणीय सरलाई। यहाँ ह्यान्ड रेजहरू भएका छन्, म क्रमशः नाम लिनेछु। त्योभन्दा अगाडि यहाँहरूलाई म एउटा सूचना भन्न गइरहेको छु। हामीहरूले विषयगत रूपमा यो कार्यक्रमलाई निरन्तरता दिइरहेका छौँ र हाम्रो कुन विषयको हुन्छ भन्ने कुरा प्रशिक्षकहरूको यकिन नभएको हुनाले हामीले राख्न सकेका छैनौँ भोलिको क्लासमा। तर हामीले कुनै न कुनै कक्षा राखेकै हुनेछौँ। भोलिको हाम्रो यो प्रशिक्षकहरू उपलब्ध नभएको अवस्थामा हामीले बीचबीचमा कार्यक्रमहरू घुसाएका छौँ। यहाँहरू सबैलाई ध्यान दिएर सुनिदिन हार्दिक अनुरोध गरे। अहिले शिक्षकहरूले आफ्नो सञ्चय कोष र नागरिक अनलाइन यो नागरिक कोषलाई लगानी कोषलाई अनलाइन प्रविष्टि गर्नुपर्ने भएको छ। यस सम्बन्धी कक्षा राखिदिन धेरैले अनुरोध गर्नुभएको हुनाले हाम्रो भोलिको कक्षा यो सञ्चय कोष र नागरिक लगानी कोषको अनलाइन प्रविष्टि सम्बन्धी हुने जानकारी गराउँदै अब आफ्ना भनाइहरू आफ्ना चाहिँ जिज्ञासाहरू राख्न ललित राई ज्यूलाई म हार्दिक अनुरोध गर्दछु। अनम्युट गरेर।
सर म सुनिन्छु।
सुनिनु भएको छ सर।
Sir, I have two questions. MS South, sir, I have
Yes,
two
sir.
questions.
Go on.
Yeah, latest
Yes, sir.
approach is content and language integrated learning. So what are the method and techniques of this approach, and how can we, is there any specific method or techniques for the four skills, vocab and grammar teaching? And another is, we have read only in 8 part of speech: noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, verb, preposition, conjunction, interjection, like that. What is the 9th part of the speech? Please, sir.
Yeah, so very interesting question, sir. Thank you. Actually, the latest approach is content and language integrated learning, or we call this content-based instruction as well. And whatever techniques we use for others, because this is based on eclecticism, in the sense that so it can borrow the ideas from any approach, any methods, from audiolingualism, from cognitive approach, from let's say task-based learning, right, from grammar translation method, from translanguaging. So whatever activities, whatever techniques we have actually prescribed, means the curriculum has prescribed there, can be used for the implementation of this CLIL approach. And it basically focuses on teaching content. Content can be any kind of the content. As I told you, that content can be about let's say geography, content can be about history, content can be about let's say economy, content can be about philosophical concept, or any literary text or non-literary text, or biography, autobiography, advertisement, right? So any kind of the text might be there, but that text should only be taught in English, means using the language. That's why language and content, these two things are integrated, they are taught together. But whatever technique is suitable in your context, in my context, that can be used. That's why it doesn't prescribe that only this is the best technique, that is not the best technique. So there is not such way, right? That is one thing. Next thing is, but whatever technique we select, it should be contextually relevant, one thing, socially responsive, and culturally sensitive. So any technique, any method, any activity which considered these three things can be suitable and the best one. So that for listening, speaking, reading, writing, there are no particular, there are no specific so activities and techniques for this one. And next thing is, so you asked what's the second one? Oh, sorry, I know. Actually, we studied 8 parts of speech traditionally. I say traditionally. So traditionally, noun, verb, adjective, adverb, pronoun, right? Conjunction, induction, preposition. We study only those one, and there was confusion. Where was the confusion there? Let me clarify with one example. This is my pen. Suppose there is one sentence, this is my pen. And what is the word class of my? One grammar says, traditional grammar says, there are possessive adjectives. That's why my, his, her, these are adjectives. And under pronoun, again, traditional grammar says, there is possessive, actually possessive pronoun. That's why my, his, her pronoun. So again, there is confusion. My is in one sense possessive adjective. Again, my is possessive pronoun. Which one is correct then? There is confusion. Another thing, article a and the. Article, these are also the words of English language. But what is the class of these words? There is no clear idea. Similarly, we have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 people, right? 40 actually books. Then what is the class of those one? There is no provision in the traditional concept of 8 parts of speech. That's why modern grammar has added one more parts of speech or word class, that is determiner. So all articles are under determiner, all numericals are under determiner, all possessives like my, his, her are determiner. In the sentence, this is my book, my is the determiner. It is not possessive pronoun, it is not possessive adjective. There are only actually similarly demonstrative adjective, quantitative adjective. This is the traditional concept. There are no quantitative adjective, there are no possessive adjective, there are no actually numerical adjective, there are no demonstrative adjectives. These are nowadays under actually determiner here. That's why in modern grammar there are only 3 types of adjectives. One is qualitative adjectives which show quality, just like roundness, beautiful, in this way. And color adjectives which show color, red, black, like that. And classifying adjectives which classify something into different categories, like polar bear, polar, swimming pool, swimming, right? Annual examination, then annual, golden temple, then golden, such adjective, right? So the another category is then determiner. That's why we have to update our knowledge. I requested you that if we do not update our knowledge, we might still have traditional mindset. And if we have still traditional mindset, then we are not utilizing our knowledge. So we should not have blind faith that whatever is given in the book can be correct. We should not think in this way. And everything that is given in the Google may not be correct. So we have to judge what is correct, what is not correct. We have to think beyond the box, right? So I am telling you that. So there are now the 9 parts of speech or word classes. One more category is determiners. There are some types also. Yes. Any other?
Thank you so much, sir. After
Yes.
then, I heartily request Sita Sharma. Sita Sharma.
Thank you, sir. Namaste, MS sir, and everyone. I want to I want to make a request to repeat a relative clause. I traditionally we are following the traditional method to teach relative clauses. I heard from you that this is different. 3 types of clauses. What you said, I want to repeat. I want to listen to you again.
So again, it is very interesting matter. Actually, I am telling you that relative clauses are introduced with the help of some relative words. Those relative words are who, which, where, when, whom, whose. These are the relative words, but they have certain word classes. They belong to certain categories. Then what can be the classes of those words then? We have to be clear here. And traditional grammar says that these are the relative pronouns. But all the relative words are not relative pronouns. That's why we say who, whom, which, that. These are the relative pronouns. And again, we have when, where, why. whose pen, there might be relative clause with whose book, whose pencil, which cow. So if they are used in this way, they are relative actually determiners. And when there is the use of when, where, how, they are totally actually adverb, but relative adverbs. And when we make use of who, whom, actually which, these are actually relative pronouns. मैले भन्न खोजेको कुरा के हो भने यो रिलेटिभ क्लजमा दिने लिङ्किङ गर्न आउने जो शब्दहरू छ नि डब्लुएच वडा ओहरू, यी सबै शब्दहरूलाई रिलेटिभ प्रोनाउन भनेको हुन्छ ट्रेडिसनल ग्रामरमा। त्यसो होइन भनेको मैले है, त्यसो नभइकन सबै शब्द रिलेटिभ प्रोनाउन होइनन्, कुनै शब्द रिलेटिभ प्रोनाउन हुन्। जस्तै हु र हमको कुरा गरेँ मैले, व्हिच पनि कुरा गरेँ। अनि कुनै शब्द रिलेटिभ एडभर्बहरू हुन्छन्, व्हिच लगाएर, व्हेन लगाएर, हाउ लगाएर जोडिएको छ दुईटा क्लज भने रिलेटिभ क्लज त भयो। तर ती शब्द के हुन् त भन्दाखेरि ती शब्दहरू, सो दिज वर्ड्स आर रिलेटिभ एडभर्ब, छोटकरीमा एडभर्ब भए, बट वी कल रिलेटिभ एडभर्ब। त्यसै गरी अनि मानौ होम के अरे होइन हुज र व्हिच लगाएर यदि जोडिएको छ भने त्यति बेला दे आर डेटर्मिनर भए। तर कुन चाहिँ डेटर्मिनर भयो? रिलेटिभ डेटर्मिनर भए। त्यसैले रिलेटिभ क्लजमा आउने डब्लुएच वर्ड सबै रिलेटिभ प्रोनाउन हुन् भनेको हुन्छ, त्यो चाहिँ होइन भनेको। द्याट इज द ट्रेडिसनल कन्सेप्ट। द कन्सेप्ट हेज बिन रिफर्म्ड इन द मोडर्न ग्रामर। वी हेभ टु अपडेट आवर नलेज इन दिस वे। अब त्यसो भए त हामीले चाहिँ मानव ग्रामर क्लासेस मेथड मात्रै ठिक भएको भए अरू मेथड आउनै थिएन। कम्युनिकेटिभ अप्रोच ठिक भएको भए अहिले चाहिँ यो सिएलएल अप्रोच भन्ने आउनै थिएन। यसो भएकोले गर्दा इन कोर्स अफ टाइम knowledge also changes. There is knowledge explosion because of research studies in the world. Every day there are many research studies, and then there is some impact of those research studies in teaching learning activities also. That's why we have to incorporate the knowledge which actually exists and which is in practice in our education also. That's why we need to update in this way. त्यसैले हामीले मानौ मैले 20 वर्ष पहिला जुन ग्रामर पढेँ अथवा मेरो सर म्यामले जुन मलाई पढाउनु भयो त्यही नै ठिक हो, त्योभन्दा दायाँमा केही पनि हुँदैन भनेपछि त वी आर थिङ्किङ विदिन द बक्स मात्रै के। अब अहिले क्रिटिकल पेडागोजीले के भन्छ, वी हेभ टु थिङ्क बियोन्ड द बक्स। वाइ क्वेसन रेज गर्ने, क्रिटिकलिटी डेभलप गर्ने, क्रिएटिभिटी डेभलप गर्ने भने हुनाले गर्दा सो वी हेभ टु थिङ्क बियोन्ड द बक्स। इट मिन्स वी निड टु रिभाइज आवर नलेज, वी हेभ टु अपडेट आवर नलेज। अब हाम्रो के छ शिक्षामा लर्निङ हुन्छ, मैले केही कुरा लर्निङ गरेँ, त्यो कुरा केही बेलासम्म सही हुन्छ, पछि त्यो कुरा काम नलाग्ने भइदिन्छ, मैले त्यसलाई अनलर्निङ गर्नुपर्छ होइन, त्यसलाई हटाउनुपर्छ माइन्डबाट। अनि हटाएर के गर्ने? रिलर्निङ गर्नु पर्यो। हो अब रिलर्निङ गर्नु पर्यो केही नयाँ कुरामा भने है। जसले अब अहिले हामीले भन्दाखेरि नेपालमा 75वटा जिल्ला छन् भनेर त भयो नि त, थिए किताबमा पनि छ, लाइब्रेरीको बुकमा त्यही लेखेको छ होइन, मेरो सरले त्यही पढाउनु भएको हो। अहिले त 77 आयो होइन। विश्वमा सबभन्दा बढी जनसङ्ख्या भएको देश चाइना हो भनेर मैले पढाएको हो, किताबमा पनि त्यही लेखेको छ, गुगलमा पनि त्यही छ, लाइब्रेरी किताबमा पनि त्यही छ, सरले पनि त्यही भन्नुभयो। अहिले त भन्न पाइएन त होइन, एक त पहिला त्यो नलेज चेन्ज भएर अहिले भारत भन्नु पर्यो। यसैले नलेज चेन्जेस भने है। सो इन द ल्याङ्ग्वेज अल्सो सेम थिङ ह्यापन्स एन्ड वी हेभ टु अपडेट आवर नलेज। त्यसो भएकोले गर्दा एभ्रीबडी इज अ लर्नर के। आई एम अ लर्नर, यु आर अ लर्नर, एभ्री पर्सन इज अ लर्नर। हामीले त्यो डिग्री पास गर्यौँ तर हामी चाहिँ पास गरे सबै नलेज पुरा गऱ्यौँ भन्ने होइन कि वी आर द लर्नर। आई एम अलवेज द लर्नर। त्यसैले आई एम लर्निङ मेनी थिङ्स फ्रम यु। त्यही भएकोले मलाई खुसी के लाग्यो भने यहाँहरूबाट धेरै सिक्ने मौका पाएँ। यस मानेमा चाहिँ एसटिएफटीलाई मैले धन्यवाद दिनुपर्छ, किनभने यो अवसर जुटाएर यहाँहरूबाट मैले धेरै कुराहरू सिकिरहेको छु कि है। धन्यवाद म्याम है।
हस्, थ्याङ्क यू सो मच एमएस साउथ सर। आफ्टर देन आई हार्टली रिक्वेस्ट शङ्कर मावि जलजले, नाउ यु क्यान अनम्युट युर सेल्फ एन्ड क्यान आस्क युर क्वेरिज। शङ्कर मावि जलजले। ठिक छ।
नमस्कार।
नमस्ते। नमस्ते
हजुर, सर्वप्रथम त म एसटिएफटीलाई धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु यो सुनौलो अवसरको लागि। यसरी हामीले सिक्ने अवसर, अब जलजले भनेको चाहिँ हाम्रो तेह्रथुममा पर्छ, यहाँबाट ट्रेनिङ सेन्टरसम्म जाने अवसर चाहिँ हामीले कमै पाउँथ्यौँ होला, तर एसटिएफटीले गर्दा अहिले घरमै कोठामै यो विविध ज्ञानहरू प्राप्त गरेको छौँ, यसको लागि धन्यवाद। Moving toward my question, Emma sir, I would like to ask you, request you to put little bit light on the principled eclecticism by Larsen Freeman and critical pedagogy, and how this teaching trend can be used in our class 10 this course? अलिकति डिटेल भयो हुन्थ्यो कि भनेर सर अघि अलिक सर्ट भयो कि
यो चाहिँ
त्यही
अब
भएर
प्रिन्सिपल्ड इक्लेटिसिजम भनेर क्रिटिकल पेडागोजी भनेकै के हो भने अनि when we follow something blindly, when we do not ask question, when we do not raise any question, when we think when we don't think beyond the box, then we are not practicing critical pedagogy, right? अनि त्यसपछि जुन मेथड चाहिँ किताबमा सिफारिस गरेको छ, जुन मानौ मैले यहाँलाई भने कि यो मेथड सबभन्दा बेस्ट छ, सबैले यही प्रयोग गर्नु है भने मैले हैन, त्यसो हो भने त इक्लेक्टिभ प्रिन्सिपल पनि भएन हैन। त्यसको मतलब के हो, लेसर प्रिपेयरको भनाइ के हो भने any technique, any method, any activity that you find suitable should be adopted in your local context, but that may not be suitable in all the other contexts. त्यसो भएकोले गर्दा teachers should be the tactful people, right? They have to adopt, they have to select those techniques, those activities which are suitable in their own context, right? Which might address the needs and let's say interest of the learners. त्यो चाहिँ प्रिन्सिपल्ड इक्लेटिसिजम भयो। आवश्यकता अनुसार जुन सही के अरे जुन खालको सुइटेबल विधि हुन सक्छ त्यही प्रयोग गर्ने भने हो कि म्याम है। अनि pedagogy, अनि we have to think beyond the box, right? We should have reflection ourselves. We have to evaluate ourselves. There should be self-evaluation. There should be reflection. There should be learning, again unlearning, again relearning, right? And there should be some kind of the collaboration, and there should be criticality. There should be creativity. And when all these things are developed, then we are actually practicing critical pedagogy. भनेको critically लिने भनेको त आलोचना गर्ने भन्ने सेन्समा होइन कि थिंकिङ बियोन्ड द बक्स, अलि फरक धारले हेर्ने, फरक तरिकाले हेर्ने। जस्तै हाम्रो हजुरबुवाले कुनै एउटा गाउँको एउटा गरामा आलु लगाउनु, जौ लगाउनु हुन्थ्यो भने अब हामीले जौ नै लाउनु पर्छ भनेर गयौँ भने त हामीले थिंकिङ बियोन्ड द बक्स हुँदै भएन के। अब उले ब्लाइन्डली हामीले ट्रेडिसनल तरिकाले गयौँ, होइन जौ होइन आलु लगाइ झन् बढी फल्छ क्या हो भने आलु लगायौँ हामीले, त्यहाँ क्रिटिकली सोच्यौँ कि त्यहाँ थिंकिङ बियोन्ड द बक्स गर्यौँ कि त्यहाँ हो त्यस्तो खालको तरिकाले जाने भन्ने सेन्समा। सो क्रिटिकल पेडागोजी इज टेकन हेयर है म्याम।
थ्याङ्क यू
म्याम है। यस
मिस्टर मनोज विक्रम बिस्ट।
हे मनोज जी फ्रम बुटोल।
From Butol, my respected person.
Thank you. Thank you, our founder of STFT, Bhupati Basel sir, and respected our trainer, my guruj, MS South sir. Actually, my query is, sir, yes, I have taken the book that is written by our respected trainer sir, MS South, and everything that is given about the topic that we discussed before about the determiner and then parts of speech, or everything that is given very clearly in the book. So I would like to request to all our friends or teachers to buy this book from the shop. Then you will be clear cut and you will have clear cut ideas about that matter, about the adjective, adverb, and determiners. So I am clear through this book that is written by MS sir. Regarding this today's topic, so actually extra bit is given in each unit in our book. From the point of view, from the examination point of view in our book, extra bit is it how it is necessary? This is my first query. Then another one is, can we ask in the examination the similar meaning or antonym in the examination paper? Sir, can we ask nowadays? The next one is, in our book, I have seen in the book, in our exercise, firstly, in first, second, and in third units, the reported speech is given. And I think in the 4th or 5th or in the 6th, in the later, the tense is given in our book. What I'm thinking that I think it would be better if the tense is given at first, then the reported speech. So my query is that curiosity, why the reported speech is given in the first 3 units, then the tense in later. This is my query, sir. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir, for your interesting questions. Actually, you asked very interesting question because you raised 3 questions here. One is, why is extra bit given at the end of each unit? This extra bit simply provides some extra information about the thing that the learners learn under each unit. That's why that is useful information. That is necessary information. So this can be useful if they learn the same thing also, right? So that it is given here. That is one thing. And if it was not given, then there would not be any problem, because curriculum does not say that extra bit should be given, but it is given, but it is fruitful. It is interesting as well, and it gives some extra information about the things that the learners learn under each unit, so that it is provided. That is one thing. Next is, can we ask synonym and antonym when we want to test vocabulary? Why not, sir? Because during actually summative evaluation, at the time of external evaluation, but grade 10 external evaluation is taken by the external bodies. But when we have to take internal question, right, for our own purpose during second term, first term examination here, in one passage, we can say that suppose there is one word, we can ask, find the word from the text which means this word. Then we are actually checking synonym, and find the word from the text which is opposite of this word. We are checking antonym. In this way, antonym and synonym can also be measured, means it can be used in the case of designing the question, because vocabulary should also be measured, tested, or assessed. Actually, next one, regarding the sequencing or organizing of the language items which are given in the textbook. The textbook is prepared on the basis of curriculum or the syllabus only. Curriculum is already prepared. So those who develop the curriculum has given reported speech under unit 1, then tense after some time. But tense is already given in previous courses. Reported speech is also already given in the previous courses. That's why this is not the new concept. If it was introduced for the first time, tense would be given first, and reported speech would be given second. That's why curriculum organizes the means those types of the grammatical items in this way. So the same thing is given in the textbook. So that textbook writers did not include those things themselves in this style, but curriculum prescribes this style. That's why they are given in this way, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, MS sir. And after then, my respected person, Lakshmi Prasad Sharma, you can unmute yourself and can ask your queries. Lakshmi Prasad Sharma.
Thank you very much, Bhupati sir. My first query about the grammar, sir, MS sir. Under the grammar section, there are 2 types of grammar items. One is reproduction type of grammar. The another one is situational grammar. In the previous class 10 and 9, reproduction type of grammar carries the 1 mark question, and for the alter that choosing item, it was only 0.5. But this time, why there is the provision of 1 marks for the situational grammar also, that choosing item, and why there is 1 marks again for the reproduction? That is one question, sir.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, sir, for your query. Actually, in the case of evaluating grammatical portion, there is 11 marks out of 100 marks, and 2 types of test items are design, reproduction, and contextual text. That is multiple choice. And you asked that previously it was 0.5. Now the full 1 marks. So there is no reason why it can be given in this way or not in that way. But when we provide many items like that, then it can be difficult for the learners to understand passage also, to select a particular term also, right? And if we give 1 marks for solving one thing, then it can be easier for the learners also. Anyway, we have to judge the grammatical knowledge, right? So if they have learned accurately, whether we provide 1 marks if they solve 2, or we provide 1 marks if they solve 1, and it doesn't matter, sir. That's why there is no rule why it is even in this way or not in that way, sir. Right? त्यसको त्यो कुनै त्यस्तो रुल छैन. पहिला त्यसरी दिएको थियो, अहिले त्यसरी दिएको छ, तर यसरी दिएको भनेर चाहिँ यो कारणले गर्दा हो भन्ने खालको चाहिँ त्यस्तो केही नियम छैन, सर.
Thank you so much, MS South sir. Only two respected persons have raised their hands. Now, my respected teacher, Manhari Ghimire, you can unmute yourself and ask your queries. Mr. Manhari Ghimire. Sorry. Mr. Puran Gurung Naol Prasi, now you can unmute and ask your queries.
Okay. Now, hello everyone. That means globalization, MS Salser, as you have already told. Chajalo, that means namaste in Gurung language. Being a Gurung from Changja and
Yes.
Now from Naol Prasi. My query is, sir, see, there are 4 skills in language: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. But listening and speaking have only just 16 marks, 8 marks each. Then the problem is, wherever we go, when we are communicating, at the time, we don't read and write first. The topmost communicating tools or the skill is speaking or listening, but it has only 8 marks each, altogether 16 marks. Then how can we make or encourage our introduce our students to speak and to listen the text on the basis of context or imagination and so many things? Why the curriculum is designed just for 8 marks for listening and 8 marks for speaking? This is my question, sir. Please go on. I'm waiting.
Oh, Puran Gurung sir, very interesting question. Yes, so actually, your focus is that there is less focus on listening and speaking. There is more focus on reading and writing, right? We suppose that actually during the presentation in the classroom, learners take part in different kinds of the teaching learning activities. Learners are engaged and they are involved in speaking activities, and also when they are involved in speaking activities, they might also develop listening as well. So this listening and speaking occur during the academic year, but mostly reading and writing has to be judged finally. And actually, so these are not isolated. When we measure one skill, when you test one skill, another skill can also be tested, another skill can also be measured, right? So 2 or more than 2 skills can be tested together. And thinking that, so actually, when we teach English from the beginning, all skills are actually measured, means they have been developed from grade 1 to grade 9, let's say, right? That's why in the case of other classes from grade 1 to 8, there is actually 50% internal assessment, only 50% external one. But in the case of grade 9 and 10 and 11, 12 as well, only 25% internal, then 75% external. So that's why, so there is much more focus on listening, speaking. That is one reason. Next is that if we followed communicative approach to language teaching, then there would be equal emphasis on all the 4 language skills. But communicative approach is no longer used nowadays. It has become outdated. We have to follow only content and language integrated learning, right? We have to teach content. Learners should be familiar with the content, and we develop the content, they have to develop the language. That's why listening, speaking, rather than listening, speaking, reading, writing are much more focused. So because of the guiding principle also, there is less focus, and because it is also taught and learned during the session academic year, that's why there is less focus. These are the 2 reasons, sir, as far as I know only. Hey, thank you, Guru sir.
Thank you. In the end, my respected teacher, Sri Ram Belvase, now you can unmute yourself and can ask your queries. Sri Ram Belvase.
योभन्दा पहिला मैले एक्चुअली सानो नोटिस भन्न चाहे सबै म्यामहरु, यो के रे यो च्याटमा धेरै हाम्रो सर म्यामहरुले चाहिँ त्यो स्लाइडलाई पठाइदिन रिक्वेस्ट गर्नुभएको छ। मसँग इमेल छैन, मसँग सबैको यहाँको इमेल भएको भए म सबैलाई एकैचोटि पठाइदिन्थेँ होइन। त्यसो भएकोले चाहिँ अब यहाँहरूले मेरो चाहिँ अब त्यो मोहन सिंह साउद भन्ने त्यो फेसबुक छ त्यसबाट मेसेज गर्नु होला, इमेल यहाँले मलाई इनबक्समा पठाइदिनु होला, अथवा चाहिँ त्यो मेरो इमेल चाहिँ mssout35 भन्ने हो, सबै स्मलमा छ, mssout35@gmail.com भन्ने छ हो। त्यसबाट पनि तपाईँले इमेल मलाई दिनुभयो भने म त्यसमा फरवर्ड गरिदिउँला, त्यसरी सजिलो होला। नभए चाहिँ हाम्रो एसटिएफको चाहिँ हाम्रो सर म्यामहरूले चाहिँ हाम्रो चाहिँ साथीहरूले यदि सबैको इमेल चाहिँ के अरे कलेक्सन गर्नुभएको छ भने मलाई दिनुभयो भने एकमुष्ट रूपमा सबैलाई मलाई पठाउन सजिलो होला। म हिजो अस्तिको ग्रेड 5 को ग्रेड 8 को यो 10 को सबै पठाइदिउँला, किनभने इट इज फर सेयरिङ, मलाई राखेर यसको कामै छैन। अब यसबाट के नलेज गेन गर्ने भएकोले होइन, आइडिया सेयर गर्ने भएकोले यी कुराहरू भोलि चाहिँ अरू हाम्रा यहाँ पार्टिसिपेट नभएका साथीहरूलाई पनि त्यो कुरा सेयर गर्न यहाँहरूलाई पनि त्यसले सहयोगी भूमिका खेल्ने भएकोले सो आई विल प्रोभाइड स्लाइड है। यो च्याट बक्समा धेरै सरले चाहिँ यस्तो म्यामहरूले यो कुरा लेख्नु भएकोले मैले यो चाहिँ नोटिस गरेँ।
थ्याङ्क यू सर। सबैले सुन्नु भएको छ भने एमएस साउथ सरलाई पनि सिधै कन्ट्याक्ट गरेर यो पाउन सक्नुभयो। अनि एमएस साउथ सरले यदि गोविन्द सरलाई हामीलाई उपलब्ध गराउनु भयो भने यहाँ मलाई पनि व्यक्तिगत रूपमा मेसेज गर्नु भएको छ, हामी प्रोभाइड गर्छौँ। र सरसँग सिधै पनि यहाँहरूले लिन सक्नुभयो, बरु मैले सरलाई च्याटमा चाहिँ आफ्नो इमेल राखिदिन अनुरोध गर्छु। सिधै हामीले एमएस सरलाई इमेल गऱ्यौँ भने सरले त्यहाँबाट फरवार्ड गरिदिनुहुन्छ। मिस्टर श्रीराम बेलवासे। सायद सरको नेट स्लो भयो होला, मलाई सुनिँदैछ नि एमएस सर?
सुन्दैछु सर मैले।
उहाँको चाहिँ नेट स्लो भएछ सर। अब ठिक छ, अरू क्वेरिजहरू सकिए सर, अगाडि बढौँ।
यो मैले एमएस साउथ अनि 35 त्यो 35 भने मेरो मोबाइलको लास्ट नम्बर हो, अनि चाहिँ @gmail.com भनेर मैले च्याट बक्समा हाल्ने। यो सबैको चाहिँ एभ्रिवन भन्नेलाई गएन थाहा भएन है यो चाहिँ। अनि त्यसबाट त्यो गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ, अथवा चाहिँ यहाँले टिप्नु भयो भने म यहाँ चाहिँ च्याट बक्समा भएको सबै यहाँ चाहिँ त्यो के अरे म चाहिँ योबाट लिन सक्दैन यो इमेल होइन, थुप्रो छ। त्यो भएकोले चाहिँ यो मेरो चाहिँ
तपाईहरुले यहाँ इमेल नलेख्नु होला, एमएस सरले यहाँ एभ्रीवन गरेर इमेल पठाउनु भयो भने त्यही इमेलमा तपाईहरुले चाहिँ माग्नु होला। धन्यवाद।
हस् सर।
के छ, सकिएको सर आजलाई?
यो चाहिँ करिब सकियो सर। अब मैले चाहिँ खासै अब यही कुरा सेयर गर्न खोजेको होइन।
धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद एमएस सर। हाम्रो यो रिक्वेस्टलाई यहाँले चाहिँ धेरै धेरै सहयोग गर्नुभयो। हामीले सम्झने समय आउँछ, तसर्थ हामीले अत्यन्तै प्रविधिमैत्री शिक्षक समाजले यहाँलाई चाहिँ सम्झनेछ, सम्झेको छ, सम्मान व्यक्त गर्दछ। र सरले 3 दिन आएर बडो मेहनतका साथ अहिले नयाँ करिकुलमको बारेमा जानकारी दिनुभयो। सायद देशभरिका अङ्ग्रेजी सरहरू यहाँ जोडिनु भएको थियो, जोडिनु भएका सरहरूले पक्कै पनि लाभ लिनुभयो भन्ने हामी अपेक्षा गर्छौँ। र फेरि समयअनुसार यस्ता कार्यक्रमहरूले हामीले राख्ने नै छौँ, समय सन्दर्भ मिलाएर। मैले फेरि पनि सूचना गरेँ, धेरै सर म्यामहरूबाट यो अनलाइन सञ्चय कोष र नागरिक लगानी कोषको प्रविष्टि गर्ने तरिकाका बारेमा यो कक्षा राखिदिन अनुरोध गर्नुभएको हुनाले अरू विषयको चाहिँ प्रशिक्षकहरू यहाँ फिक्स नहुन्जेलको लागि हामीले ग्याप गर्दैनौँ। भोलि यो कक्षा हुनेछ, तसर्थ यहाँहरू जोडिएर वा यो अनलाइन प्रविष्टि गर्ने काम हेड सरहरूको हो। यहाँ कतिपय हेड सरहरू पनि हुनुहोला, यहाँहरूले आफ्नो हेड सरलाई भन्नुहोला, या हेड सर प्रविधिमा अलिकति चाहिँ अगाडि हुनुहुन्न भने तपाईँहरू आफै उहाँलाई सिकाउनका निमित्त सबै जोडिएर चाहिँ सिक्न सक्नुहुन्छ। यो हामीलाई उपयोगी नै छ। र यो 3 दिनको सहजीकरणका लागि हार्दिक धन्यवाद ज्ञापन गरिदिनु हुन सरलाई म संस्थाका महासचिव देवी प्रसाद शर्मा सरलाई हार्दिक अनुरोध गर्दछु। देवी सर।
हजुर, धन्यवाद सर। आदरणीय अध्यक्षज्यू र हाम्रो अस्ति हिजो र आज 3 दिनसम्म अनवरत रूपमा यो आधारभूत तह र माध्यमिक तहको अङ्ग्रेजी विषयको पाठ्यक्रम र मूल्याङ्कन सम्बन्धी अभिमुखीकरण गर्नुहुने आदरणीय गुरु मोहन सिंह साउद सर लगायत सम्पूर्ण संस्थाका अभियन्ताज्यूहरू र सम्पूर्ण सहभागी साथीहरू, पक्कै पनि यो 3 दिनको बसाइ अत्यन्तै उपलब्धिमूलक